here is at another presentation of Karya Bharath, enhancing life for better tomorrow.
Hi, I am Suraj Samaga and I am the founder of Karya Bharath, an idea conceptualized around the needs of the industry, the skill sector and the human resources. We at Karya Bharath enhance lives for a better tomorrow. Let me start by talking to you about a story of two migrant laborers, Bhuvan and Gauri. Bhuvan works as a cook in a small restaurant in Delhi and his wife Gauri as a caregiver for elders. Together they are just about able to make two ends meet and earn enough to sustain a family of four. But now, as the pandemic comes, Bhuvan loses his job as the entire hospitality industry comes crashing down because of the lockdown. And so does Gauri. Faced with no other option, they are forced to return to their village, where again they are exploited. This is the story of 1 crore other workers across India who have lost their jobs to the pandemic, with the unemployment rate soaring to an unprecedented high of 30%. According to Niti Aayog, 80% of all of our workforce comes in the unorganized sector, which amounts to a market of 40 crore blue-collar workers. Now slowly, as the economy recovers from the pandemic and as manufacturing activities shift from China to India, this will give rise to gig economy, and slowly and surely there will be a war for talent across all sectors. This huge untapped opportunity is where Karya Bharath comes in, a one-stop digital marketplace where job seekers such as Bhuvan and Gauri can fulfill their needs for employment and for upskilling. At the same time, not just job seekers but job givers, be it large establishments, hotels, restaurants, down to even small households or individuals, can find the best person suited for their needs. Through Karya Bharath, we aim to touch the lives of every common man of India by enabling technology in their hands. Coming to the app specifics, it is a mobile-first tech platform compatible across Android, iOS and desktop browsers. And the USP, one of our USPs is that it is multilingual, both in capability and in support. We have added much more features such as video integration and audio integration to enhance user experience. A few of our value propositions are that, first of all, we aim to bring in uniformity into the unorganized sector by proper planning and implementation. Second of all, by mapping skills to jobs using the national occupation standards set by the government. This will also help in organizing the labor force. Thirdly, and very importantly, we aim to reduce the cost of hiring by 70+%. And another important point of ours is the use of AI/ML techniques and tools so that we can bridge the existing gap in laborers by encouraging them to upskill and reskill through the Skill India training centers. We also have included features such as gamification and job matching through AI/ML so that we can attract more and more users and keep them for a long time. Our business model is a pay-as-you-go and subscription-based model. Now, as we plan to launch our app in 2 cities in the next 6 months, we will be just focusing on building our subscriber base. And once we're done with that, the next 6 months will be about operational sustenance. However, year 2 will be all about exponential growth, as by the end of year 3, we plan to reach figures such as 22.5 lakhs of subscriber base and 4.5 lakhs of jobs for hire. This will amount to a revenue of 75 crores and a PBT of 29 crores. Finally, our roadmap is that we plan to launch in 2 cities in Jan 2022, and the next 6 months we plan to add 10 languages, and very soon after that, year 2, Jan 2023, we plan to expand 10 large cities and the number will increase to 30 large cities by Jan 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a wonderful presentation. We have the jury members posing the question. It is Dr. A.P. Achar with the opening question.
Your another focus area is of upskilling and reskilling the existing labor force. But how do you manage the cost of training? Who will pay for it?
So we expect to tie up with the government agencies and investigate how that can be handled.
But government agencies, existing scheme, they don't have any fund for this kind of activities. Even if they have also, getting assets and getting funds is a big challenge. Are you aware about this?
So we'll have to get industry participation also in this, and
yeah, that could be a big
yes, sir. We'll be having the people involved, the industry connect also, who would be interested in upskilling the labor also. So we will look into that also.
So in your case, what will come first? Your corporate clients or your database of skilled workers?
Both. Basically, we are looking at approaching both, and we already have are in advanced talks with corporates to get them on board, as well as we have the foot soldiers to catch up on the labor side.
I would like to know from you, what are your plans to, bring on board the workforce in the tier 2 cities?
So we plan to have road shows with foot soldiers on the ground who will be getting them on board, as well as we'll be looking at getting digital push as well as mass media push on this to get them onto the platform.
Coming back to the question asked by Professor Achar, are you aware that there are several government schemes that helps these workforce to get skilled, and we also have a special department meant for skilling the laborers? I think you should explore that. There is an opportunity. Government has lot of schemes and programs, and we should explore and empower this workforce. Do you have this in your plan?
So we have already initiated an approach to the Skill India management.
When you onboard the workforce, are you ensuring that you check their existing skills and identify the gaps that they have, and then you plan for replenishing the gap through certain add-on training programs or things like that? What is your plan? How are you trying to look at it?
So we will be collecting information from the candidates and also looking at the gaps which will be of course trained through an AIML engine, and we'll be identifying whatever gaps are in the skill sets, and we will be training them or through the schemes that you mentioned.
So are you looking at the blue collar workers or the grey collar workers?
Ma'am, we'll be looking at the blue collar as well as slightly grey.
Okay. And what is the industry you're looking at? See, you answered a question for saying mine workers. You can say you want to get into construction. They're all very different people, different skill sets. What is your direction in industry? And do you have any specific regions also you want to target first?
Ma'am, we'll be concentrating on certain geographies, but our focus is mapped with Skill India NOS, that is the National Occupation Standards. So we would be accepting talent from all over. First 6 months we'll be focusing on a couple of cities, and then we'll be going ahead all across.
Okay. Yeah, but I want to understand where you're targeting, because that's critical. You can get all over, but unless you're able to tell me which industry you're going, you're saying AI/ML. So AI/ML is driven purely on data. You cannot put in, mass amount of data and tell me you're doing AI/ML. It has to be very specific catering for it to even make any effort and improvement for your system. So I think you'll have to think about where do you want to go first. Pick just 2-3 industries, because it's not easy to onboard the folks as well, nor is it going to be easy for you to upskill them or train them. So you've got to focus on that and then expand to whatever else comes.
We'll surely take that as a suggestion to go ahead.
I agree with the jury. I have similar concerns, right? It's very difficult for you to onboard these blue collar workers. You don't really have a very solid strategy. You're saying that you will have feet on street to onboard them, but how do you get access to so many millions of blue collared worker? Where do you get database about them? Government, central government with such a huge machinery is finding it hard to get them on board on a digital platform. How do you plan to bring them on board?
So it will be driven again by AIML based on the job requirements which come in, and we are concentrating on 1 or 2 industries to begin with. In the first 6 months, we hope to ensure that our focus is going to be there. That's the idea behind first two cities and couple of industries.
See, the Indian labor market is divided into 2 parts, organized and unorganized sector. We have only 10% workforce is organized, 90% is unorganized. And we have around 130 labor laws, which is applicable only to this formal sector. Do we have any plan to bring this informal sector into that labor laws orbit?
So laws, I don't know how much we can work on, but surely we are looking at formalization of the workforce. So by definition, that should bring them within the ambit of the law.
Do you have any plan to see that this benefit is passed on to the informal laborers or this construction worker laborers?
So our app will have a direct communication with the candidates and the workforce. This will be part of the upskilling or educational scheme that we have.